video, we're going to look at opening tabs for students using the focused browsing feature. Focused browsing is much like opening tabs, but with focused browsing, students will be closed out of any tabs that they already had opened, and they will be locked into the websites that you send to them. So focused browsing is a great way to really focus students in on the work or content that you want them to do at that moment. Let's take a quick look at how this feature works. My students are getting ready to do a quick formative assessment, and I want to share 2 links with them. I want them to have access to this Google Forms quiz on the order of operations, and I also want them to have access to this video on Khan Academy about the order of operations. So they will be able to watch the video to get remediation as well as take the short assessment in Google Forms. I only want them to have access to these 2 links and nothing else. So I am going to start a focused browsing session in Hapara Higlights. To do that, I will click on the Open Tabs button and a new window will appear. First, you must enter the URL addresses of the websites that you want them to have access to. So I will copy and paste my URL addresses now. Then you must decide who you want to open tabs for, the whole class, certain students in the class, or groups that you have created in Hapara. I will choose certain students because I only want to focus browse students 5, 7, and 6. Next, you must toggle the focus browsing option to yes. And then also notice that you have the ability to schedule browsing for a specific date and or time. We won't use this feature right now because we want our focused browsing session to begin immediately. I will click the Open Tabs button. Notice that there is an alert that the teacher receives that a focused browsing session is about to begin. Then notice that students will also receive an alert as well. The focused browsing session will begin after the countdown or by clicking the Start Now link. Students will be closed out of any windows that they had open and are now locked into the websites that you shared with them. If a student tries to go to another website, let's say Johnny tries to go to wikipedia.com during the focused browsing session. They will see this screen pop up. Focused browsing is active. So it prevents them from going to any site outside of the sites that you shared as part of the focused browsing session. If I am a student and I try to close out of any of the tabs that the teacher has shared, the tabs automatically reopen on their screen. Any student who is in a focused browsing session now has a target or a bullseye icon in the upper right corner of their card. By clicking on the bullseye, I, the teacher, can release that one student from focused browsing. So if a student is done with their assessment, I can release him from the focused browsing session without affecting the rest of the class. If I want to release the entire class from a focused browsing session, I would click the Focus Session button in the top right corner and then click End Session. I can choose to leave the focus tabs open or choose to close the focus tabs for all students. I'm going to choose to close the focus tabs because I no longer want them to have access. And then click Yes, End Session. Once students are released, it will close the tabs that I shared with them and then reopen any tabs that the students were working in prior to the focused browsing session.